All right. Sup, noobs? Go ahead,
I thought we
Jason.
agreed to not start with sup noobs.
No, I said that's what we're doing, and you didn't say anything in opposition to it.
Fine, whatever.
Well, this is the Trained Noobs podcast, episode 0. We decided to name it Genesis because it's a badass motherfucking word. Obviously, this is an explicit podcast.
It's a good band too.
Is it? I don't know what that band
Come
is.
on, really? You've never heard Genesis before?
No, I haven't.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, after this podcast is over, you're gonna have to go listen to Genesis because it's actually.
Is it my kind of music?
They don't scream their lungs out into the microphone, so maybe.
What makes you say that? Like that's kind of my kind of music or something?
Well, that is your jam. That is what you like to listen
I
to.
enjoy some of that kind of stuff, but I'm a well-versed person as long as it's not rap.
Even rap is pretty good if you know how to appreciate it, the right stuff.
All right, Snoop Dogg. So my name is Michael, and
I'm Jason,
and we have been best friends for 5 years now. Hence the training since, or 10 years. Hence the training since 2005.
A dude forgot how long we've been friends.
10 years.
Well,
10 years.
The friendship may not last much longer after the podcast ends.
10 and a half. Do you even remember what month?
It was January.
Yeah, it was. And the reason that we know that forever is because so my gaming career started when I was 16. How old am I now?
Too old?
Yeah. So I was 16 because my birthday's in March. It was January. So 10 years ago. I'm 27 now. So when I was 16 years old, I didn't do any gaming or any computer anything up until, well, that's not true, because there was a little tiny stint when I was younger where my dad had EverQuest and he played it for like a week, and then I played out the rest of his 6-month subscription. That was fun. But anyway,
they're coming back with EverQuest, right?
What, the voxel based one?
The original. Like, they're starting with, I think, what, it came out in 99, I think? They're calling it, what is it?
Is it updated at all? Because they've been doing expansions up till now.
It
currently.
is the very first version, the very first iteration of EverQuest. When it came out, when it released in that state, of course bug-free, because they fixed all the bugs and everything by that point. But basically what they're doing is they're doing a progression-based server. It starts with the very first, core game, I guess it would be called. The very first release, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they're going to release the next expansion pack like 3 or 6 months down the road. And then after that, they're going to release the next expansion pack. And they're just going to keep going on and on and on until they get up to current EverQuest standards. So basically, if you fell in love with EverQuest when it was old, they're going back and they're doing the old system again. And they're starting from way back and bringing it forward again as a progression-based server. And I think there'll still be a subscription fee and all that stuff too. But
well, cool.
Sorry,
I mean,
I didn't mean to
it's all right.
go off on that tangent, but
Well,
I figured maybe you'd be interested.
I really did like it when I was a kid. In fact, I remember I liked it so much that it was the first time I tried to talk my way out of getting out of school. Let's see, I was freshman. How old are you when you're freshman?
Well, you're usually 18 by the time you graduate, so take 4 years off.
So I was like 14 or 15.
Probably closer to 15.
Or I was in, it was end of freshman year, beginning of sophomore year. It must have come out, I don't know exactly when it came out, but my dad had just bought a computer, so he got the EverQuest. He got a 6-month subscription. He played for like a week and stopped playing. And I started playing it, and I passed him, and I was trying to get out of school, and I was telling my mom I didn't want to go to school, and I would be like, I'm sick, and she'd be like, okay, you got to stay home. You can stay home. And she said, but you can't be on the computer. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do then? If I'm at home, you just want me to sit in my bed? And she's like, yeah. And it just, I don't know. That game totally took me over. It was the first time I really got lost in a game. And so that kind of comes back into play as I go through more gaming history with WoW and stuff like that. But basically the first time I got really into computers, the first time I ever got into it was when I was 16, and it was Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, Spearhead mod. And the reason
Spearhead expansion, it wasn't a mod.
Spearhead expansion.
Yeah, it was a full blown expansion. It was the first expansion for Medal of Honor.
And it also tied in with Breakthrough, right? It was Breakthrough.
Breakthrough was after Spearhead, yes.
But they were
all the same. It was Allied Assault.
They commingled.
Yes, Allied Assault, then Spearhead, and then Breakthrough, which you could all buy. You could buy every single one of them in a war chest on GOG.
We should do that one day. No?
No,
shitty?
it's lost its nostalgia so fast. You don't want to go back. Remember it for what it was, not what it is now.
All right, so basically, it was the summertime. I had my cousin up from California, and he was really into Counter-Strike 1.6, and he was like, "Hey, buy me Counter-Strike." He was living with us for a while, and he's like, "Buy me Counter-Strike." I was like, "All right, I'll buy you Counter-Strike." I had a job, and all I was doing was skateboarding and working. That's all I was doing basically. And
How old were you at this point?
16. It was during the summer.
16
he was
and
staying with
working.
us.
What were you doing?
My first job was at Albertsons, so it's a grocery store.
Okay.
I should establish it was a grocery store here on the West Coast. They have all gone out of business now for the most part. The last ones are just closing down here. I'm from the Portland area, but anyway, so I can wrap this shit up real quick. I bought him that. I didn't like Counter-Strike 1.6 at all. I thought it was like clunky. I got into my dad's. When I was a kid, it was my first game ever, my first FPS ever. It just was hard to play. I got my dad's computer games out. I found Medal of Honor, and I was really into World War II at the time. And it just totally clicked with me, and I got on and started playing. And in a matter of a week, I found an awesome clan named the 105th STS. So 105th Special Tactics Squad, they played a specific style of Medal of Honor where it was tactical. So no running around and shooting and jumping and bunny hopping and stuff like that. It was crouch walking, being silent, all that kind of stuff, and it was really fun. And as soon as I started playing with these guys, they got me hooked up with on Ventrilo. My dad went out and bought me a headset, which was one of the first times that he ever did anything. That was a big deal to me because my mom was like, he is not going to be on the computer talking to these strangers. And back then it was way weirder, right, than it is now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She's like, it's not happening. My dad's like, shut up. Michael, you want me to go get your headset? All right, you got it. And he got me a headset, and I played, and I remember I was just on it all the fucking time. I got good at that game because I couldn't do anything else. I was obsessed with playing that game. And in that game, I was really young. I was only 16, and I started helping out the clan a lot by recruiting people and stuff like that, and I recruited this dude right here. And back then, his tag was Error, and
I'll cover that later.
Yep, and we'll cover that he is a man of many names, kind of a whore of words, I guess you could say.
I'm a cunning linguist.
A cunning linguist is what he is. So anyway, So basically, we had another friend that I recruited into the clan as well, and the three of us went and we made a Counter-Strike clan, and we were badasses, and we called it Rebel Tactics Force. Right, I mean,
mapped clan tag.
Exactly, because that's the only cool way to do it.
Yeah, it was a backwards R, which was a little smaller than regular size, and then the T was also matching the size of the R, and then the F was the same size as all the other shit, and
everything was super small, and it was in inverted brackets.
Yeah,
I mean, because that's what you do.
Yeah, you had to.
Rebel Tactics Force, still to this day the coolest name of a clan anywhere. So we did that, and we got into competitive stuff. So we did a lot of
Cal at the time, yeah.
Open, unfortunately, lots of open. we had some good seasons, but
about 4 times open.
As the years progressed, we determined that we're pretty bad at having organized teams together. We just, I don't know, one thing after another. Whether we're not practicing or we're arguing or some stupid shit. But we're more like brothers than we are like best friends because we argue all the time.
But yeah, the big thing too about RTF was we made a lot of long-lasting friendships through that clan, right? You know, we're friends with a lot of the people that we invited. Now it wasn't a huge clan like now you get those multi game clans and stuff that go out and they put their name basically everywhere, right? It
was a competitive clan, so we only
had
had
one game, and we had 8
less
people,
than a dozen. Yeah, maybe up
8,
to
10
or something.
Yeah,
we cycled through a couple people, but everybody that we got on that clan, we were friends with for years and still are to an extent, for the most part.
Yeah.
And I've never had anything like that. Even the 105th was where we met, and I tried to stay in touch with those guys, but they all dissipated, and those guys had been a clan for really long time, and they were all real life friends and stuff like that, and there was something magical about RTF. I don't know, it really clicked with everybody that we found good guys.
Yeah, well,
probably because I put so much effort into it and I was so good at running that shit.
The 105th actually still has I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure when we established the clan the RTF, I'll cover this a little bit more later. But I was probably the worst person on the team. I have since gotten better at Counter-Strike. I'm not terrible, but as bad as I was, I still am pretty bad. But I'm not that bad. But
the thing that defeated you mostly was your own attitude.
yeah, no, I agree. But anyways, I went back and I looked at 105th's website. They still have their website still up.
They're still a functioning clan,
And we're still listed in there as honorary members.
always and forever.
In
man.
their clan.
So since you brought that up, I will mention that when I was in 105th STS, when I was first starting to get into games, I wasn't sure what I wanted my name to be. And at that time, like I said, I was really into World War II, so I was watching Band of Brothers a lot. My dad had it in the big tin set, all the different DVDs. And I would watch that shit and then rewatch it and rewatch it.
It's the only show that I can literally walk in on, and I will sit there and finish it.
And you can't walk away.
Yeah, and I would sit there and watch it.
And I say that, and then I immediately make myself look like a jerk because I can't remember the first name. The first name, it started with an S. I got to see this here. And he was just like ultimate badass for like one season. And
What episode was he in?
pen. If I could find a quick list here. Winters Shifty. So Shifty Powers. Do you remember Shifty Powers?
Yes, he's the one that got shot in the ass.
Was he?
Yeah.
It's been so long since I
Yeah.
watched it, but I just thought Shifty was the fucking coolest name ever, man. So I wanted to be Shifty. That lasted for about a day, and I don't know why I changed it. But my nickname in high school was Peter. My name's Michael, but my nickname in high school was Peter. So I just fucking did Peter.
And your middle name is your middle name's what?
Carl.
Exactly. Where the fuck does the Peter come from?
Well, when I moved around to a lot of different high schools. I'm one of 7 kids, and we constantly were outgrowing our houses and stuff. And I moved to a bunch of different high schools. And one of my high schools, I showed up one day, and this random kid, it was my very first day, said, "What's up, little Pete?" And I'm like, "Why are you calling me little Pete?" I was always short up until senior year. I was always a small kid. He's like, "I don't know, you look like a little Pete." And I told my friends that I had already made by that time, and they thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and they never called me anything else. So I was Peter. I came into Medal of Honor as Peter, and I've since moved on to another name, and I've stuck with the other name. But anyway, so let's see. Let's wrap up the Medal of Honor talk, because we could talk about that all.
We can go on for days.
We had some good times. So we went for Medal of Honor. We did the Counter-Strike, which was awesome. And then kind of from there, everybody stayed together, but we all kind of played new games, but together. And maybe somebody would play this game and everybody else wasn't into it, but we would always come back and play something together, whether it was World of Warcraft or StarCraft when it came out. Me and Ray would play a lot of Diablo, which is one of our good buddies from RTF. It was kind of every single thing. There was a long period where all we would do is just look for free-to-play games, and we would play just anything that looked good. We've always gamed together since then.
What about Flife?
Oh yeah, we rocked the shit out of some Flife, man.
Flife Guild Wars was the one that we all jumped on for a while.
Guild Wars was huge, not to be overlooked, because Guild Wars was probably the 3rd or 4th most time that I ever spent in any game was the original Guild Wars. And then that transitioned over to World of Warcraft for me, and then World of Warcraft, I don't even know. I think like 250 days I had on my character before I deleted my account, and I don't know. It's just something stupid. Lots of games in general. We've all been best friends for a long time, and me and Jason have been best friends for a long time. And at one point, I moved down and lived with him for a while, and that was really fun. But like I said, in a lot of ways, we're like brothers who sometimes can't stand each other, and get in a little fight and then move away, and that kind of shit happens. But
and then from there you moved where?
To Romans.
Yeah.
So Roman is one of our buddies who is Russian, living in Ukraine, came to the United States, got his green card here and stuff like that. Now he's a Marine, and he's a real cool guy.
We were all at his wedding.
We were at his wedding.
We were in his wedding.
Yes, we were in his wedding. We were groomsmen. One of us was a best man. Yeah, he's one of the most loved guys around here for sure, because he's just freaking awesome. But I've been all over the place because of these guys, and all that started just from Medal of Honor. When I started playing games in Medal of Honor, and I haven't stopped gaming since then. It's just been Awesome.
And by one of us was the groom was the best man at his wedding. You mean one of our other buddies was actually in?
Correct.
Of the other Jason was.
I would have been the best man, except for it would have upset the other Jason. Roman knew this. He's always trying to calm everybody down. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't have been this. But we're all like Roman is.
If Roman
could
have, he would have made all of us the best man. If it was even possible, he would have. That's just the kind of dude that he is.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, then after you left, parted ways with Roman from that point, you moved out to back towards Portland, right?
Yeah, moved back to Portland. Took the flight from. He was in Hartford, Connecticut, so I was at Cleveland, Ohio, pretty much Cleveland, like right outside Cleveland, with Jason here. He punched me in the head. I go to Hartford, and from Hartford,
you mean you got a hard on?
Go back to Hartford to Portland, and just we've always stayed in touch, and we've always played games. And I've gone through various other parts in my life. I lived right outside Salt Lake City for a long time with my dad, and right when I moved back was when my parents were splitting, and it was just there's lots of different stuff like that. But as far as my gaming history goes, Medal of Honor is a huge foundation for us. Counter-Strike is massive. We've played Counter-Strike ever since, I don't remember what my Steam profile says, 2006?
It's probably close to there, yeah.
Or maybe 2000, end of 2005. I don't remember. We played it a lot. It's one of those games that we can all still jump into, and we just still have the feel for it, and we'll still drop a 2 or 3 to 1 ratio. Not too difficult in a deathmatch. So that's huge for us, and then, we've all played everything together from then on. So I think that's pretty much my history, but I know that you've got a little bit of a deeper history than I do.
It's not going to be, it's not going to be as long or as detailed as yours, because I have a terrible memory when it comes to all that stuff, but I guess starting from the beginning, I actually originally lived in Cleveland, and I didn't really have much as far as like a gaming PC or anything like that. So pretty much all I did was the very first console that I ever got it wasn't really a console, it was a computer. It was the Commodore 64, and that's where my roots actually started from. I started playing games on Commodore 64, which came out, I want to say, in like 86. I am currently 29 years old, which I still find hard to believe. But, yeah, well, that was my very first gaming console, and then I think, what year did the PlayStation come out, the original PlayStation? Because I got that,
82.
82 was the Commodore 64?
Yeah.
So that's... I know they had different versions.
Right.
I was born in 86, so I think my dad probably had that since about 86, probably 80, 88, something around there. But... anyways, after that, I got my very first PlayStation at my 14th or 15th birthday. Before that, I had the regular Nintendo, and it was in my sister's room, and I had to fight her to get in there to play it because she had the only other extra TV that we had. So I'd go in there and yell at her, and I'd go in and I eventually would win. And when I won, I'd go sit down and play Mario Brothers for a while, and I'd always fucking lose. I was terrible at Mario Brothers.
It's a hard game. When I go back to play those kind of games now, it's infuriating. I remember that there was this port during my Nintendo 64 days. There was this port of one of their old games where the Donkey Kong or something is throwing barrels down and it's going sideways.
Yeah.
And within Donkey Kong 64, you're playing that game, and it was the hardest motherfucking thing in that game. It was unbelievably hard. And now I go back and I play those Mario games, and they're so much about timing and muscle memory and just remembering all the patterns that I just fucking can't do it, man. Just give me some I just can't do it. Anyway.
Then so basically it was the combo pack, right? You remember the old combo pack cartridge of Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt?
Mm-hmm.
That was the only game that we had. Literally the only game that we had. We had the little blaster pistol and Mario Brothers, and that was...
So I also grew up with all the old consoles, too. I guess I didn't really talk about this, but we had an Atari, the original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then from that point, we went to the PlayStation. We had a big gap there where we had nothing for a while. Nintendo 64 was my buddy's, and then I bought my own when I was older and stuff. So I love all those consoles. But the Duck Hunt game, when I was a kid, I remember which house I was in. I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I thought the gun was so fucking cool, but the cord on it was holding me back. So if I wanted to, if I wanted to run around with the gun in my pocket and be a badass with my gun, obviously I had to cut the cord off. I mean,
yeah, it was what else do you expect? You just had to trip over it.
It was totally in the way. And I've always hated that I did that it's just ridiculous what you do when you're a kid. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I guess I did have all those consoles as well, but I didn't have the Commodore or nothing like that. The first computer we ever had was my dad bought a Sony Vaio when I was 16, 2004, something like that.
Yeah, but we bought or I got for my birthday, I got the PlayStation. I went in, ran to that living room. Literally, before, with the Nintendo, the only way I would get a game is if I begged for it, and it was my birthday or it was Christmas. My birthday is the middle of the year. My birthday is in June, so it's like either my birthday or Christmas would be my first time for getting a game, and that's it. I didn't have. I wasn't patient enough to build up an allowance to go out and buy a game.
What kid is?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't have a choice. So we'd go out, and my only other way to play a game would be to rent it. Right? When you used to rent those games, you'd get them for 4 or 5 days, whatever it would be.
What was your guys' rental places out in the East Coast?
Oh, it was a small family-run place, or Blockbuster.
We had Hollywood Video.
We had Hollywood Video too. Yeah. Okay,
and then Blockbuster. Yeah, I used to live there.
But anyway, we always rented from a little family-owned place, because Blockbuster never had the games that I wanted, but this place did because people didn't really go there, right? So I'd go and rent the game, and when I got the game in my hands and I got home, literally I would sprint from the car all the way through the kitchen, around, and into the living room and slide on my knees on the rug. And I didn't care if I had shorts or pants or whatever. I slid because I was so hyped to put that game in and play. And I can't even count how many times I got rug burn. But anyways, after I got that PlayStation, I went and hooked it up, and I didn't get off that PlayStation for probably close to 6 hours. And then after that, pretty much can summarize it by saying that my dad had owned his own business, and he was just getting into learning how to build his own computers. So he ended up building a computer for the house, and I want to say it was close to $2,000. And it was nowhere near top of the line.
That was probably as cheap as you can get too, because the Sony Vaio I'm talking about was a couple grand, and I remember my dad upgraded it to 15 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Or something like that for hard drive space.
Actually, before that, we didn't buy a PC. We bought a pre-built one, but it wasn't really good. It was like you'd use it for processing Word documents. And that was about it. You know what I mean? Paint. Shit like that. Eventually,
it's making me stressed out just thinking about it.
Yeah, and eventually I just convinced my dad. I said, listen, I really want to play some of these cool games that are coming out because, I went out, and this was an Unreal Tournament 1 came out. I think it was actually Game of the Year edition. I walked into GameStop, and I'm like, I picked up this case, and it looks so cool. The text on the top was awesome, and it was red, and there was a big trophy there with guns everywhere, these rocket launchers and stuff. I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. Mom, can I get this? And I pretty much begged her to buy this for me. She's like, fine. It was like $20 because it was the Game of the Year edition, So it was basically this culmination of an amazing game rounded up into the whole year and spat out with a bunch of extra goodies like new maps and things like that. Eventually, she bought it for me, and we went home, and I threw it in an old computer that we had, the pre-built one. Installed it. Everything went fine. Go to play, it's like 5 frames per second. I didn't know what FPS was. I had no idea what frames were. But I'm like, why is it like a slideshow? I don't understand. And of course, you don't have internet. You can't Google that, So you have to do research in books and shit like that, and I'm too lazy to do that. But eventually we found this cool website called Newegg. And then that was when my dad bought that nice $2,000 computer, which had a dedicated... I don't think it had dedicated graphics at the time. Maybe it did. I can't remember. It was so long ago, but
Oh man.
we got that. I took that home. I threw the Unreal Tournament into it, and it played smoothly, probably about 30 or 40 frames a second.
It's good enough.
It was good enough for me, so I played it and just started killing people. It was so much fun, and that was pretty much the start of my my serious gaming history. And then from there, I went into a game called Rune. Rune had two different versions. There was Rune, which was there was a base game, which was just like it's like a third person over the shoulder sword fighting game, and it's cool tricks and turns and spins and stuff. I heard that, by the way.
Sorry, my neck is killing me, man. It's all screwed up. I'll explain that to you later. I had to crack it.
But it was really cool because there's three types of different weapons. There's maces, there's axes, and then there's swords. And it's a gladiator game. You could go into an arena and you fight with people, and you could have 2v2, 3v3, 4v4. I think it went all the way up to like 6v6 at one point. Excuse me, and it was ridiculous. And that was that game. Something about that game just sucked me in. And Rune, the very first one, was basic multiplayer with like deathmatch, team deathmatch, and I think that was really it. Arena mode was not in that one. Yeah, it was deathmatch and team deathmatch and like free for all. Those were like the main game modes in Rune. And then the story mode, the campaign, single player, it was like the main focus of that game, right? Then they came out with like a standalone expansion, which was called Rune Halls of Valhalla. That one had a bunch of new multiplayer maps and modes and everything in there, like arena mode, which is what I would talk about there. The 2v2, 3v3, all that was in arena mode. Then there was something called Headball, which was basically you get a head that is dropped in the middle of the arena. You go pick it up, and you want to take it over, and it's like playing basketball, except it's like think of it like one flag capture the flag, where you got two spots on either end of this arena that's elaborate. And there are two hoops, essentially. And you're supposed to go to the middle, grab the head, and throw it in one of the hoops. And the first team to however many points wins the game. So it's just like basketball. And then there was Capture the Torch, which is capture the flag. Except that one's actually like capture the flag. You go to the other person's base, get their torch, bring it back to your base, and drop their torch off at your base. And you get a point. First to X amount of points wins. And something about that game just pulled me in, and I played that game for years and years and years. And every once in a while, I'll load it up now and go play it again. But unfortunately, there's like 15 people that play that game anymore.
For how old it was and how obscure it is, I'm surprised that even 15 people play it, to be honest. I'm surprised that there's still servers. So the servers are hosted by them?
Yes, they're dedicated servers still.
Wow.
There's been talk. There's been petitions and everything signed to try to get a Rune 2 made. And the developer for it, Human Head Studios, is... I believe they've said they wanted to make it before, but I guess the funding wasn't there or whatever reason. So I wouldn't see why we wouldn't be able to put it on like Kickstarter or something and get enough followers, which would be amazing. But I don't think it's ever going to happen. So I'm not.
Well, who knows? You know, Kickstarter just started exploding in the last couple years, and you know, who knows?
Yeah. But anyways, from after Rune, I went to Medal of Honor, which Mike pretty much covered all of that. I pretty much got it, and using my amazing skills from Unreal Tournament, I was really good at Medal of Honor, and I don't want to boast, but out of all of the people in our clan, Mike, myself, and the other guy, other Jason, we were the top people on that in that clan.
Oh man, we made people cry.
Anytime we had a clan war with any other clan, it was always the top fraggers were us three. And that's why we'd all decided to band together. And we're like, we don't need these noobs. We'll go join something else. Get the reference?
But then what happens is you start getting older and getting more jobs and full-time work, and it's like you're not 16 anymore with all the hours in the day to get really fucking good.
And then you get a family, and you have all that shit to worry about. You know, that becomes a pain. That becomes a pain, and you just don't have time.
And now we've depressed everybody.
Come on, man. If they turned on this podcast, they're already depressed.
Oh man, that's that self-defeatist attitude that always kicked your butt in Counter-Strike.
But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna get onto that right now. So after Medal of Honor, we all moved to Counter-Strike because I didn't know shit about it. I honestly, I didn't follow Counter-Strike at all. I really got into it when I found out that my neighbor actually hosted a LAN party for Counter-Strike. It was actually 1.6 at the time. Mike's actually wearing the shirt for it if you're watching the video stream.
Because I went to it before he punched me in the head, and then I left.
Yeah, him and Roman both came out for that LAN. And
It was awesome.
Roman opted to sleep in his computer keyboard.
Oh, that's right. And
Yeah.
we slept downstairs like normal.
Yeah,
but
we
I just
were normal
remember
people the whole time.
the chicken and the balls. Oh my god, so good, so much balls. That's great.
So much.
And if
You mean so many?
you know you're our audience if you know what balls is, and if you know what our quotes on our website are. And I'm not even gonna tell you guys what the quotes are, but it should be obvious as fuck.
Balls is an energy drink.
Why'd you have to ruin it, man?
Because
we don't want
them looking up the other type of balls.
BAWLS.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
Order a case off Amazon. It's
look
great.
it up, and they actually have I don't know what kind of the blue flavor is. I don't know how to describe it. Like blue raspberry. Am I close?
I always remember them just being a generic flavor.
They were like bluish raspberry, I think, and then
I thought there was like two at the land.
Then they also had a geek beer, which is root beer.
Mm.
Which is also really good. And they're supposed to be supposedly energy drinks, but they don't really do anything for you. They're just like flavored sodas that are actually really good.
Yeah.
But
and they're called balls.
Anyways, when I got into Counter-Strike, I didn't really know what it was. I only knew about it because I just explained I didn't know my neighbor very much at the time. And I was very antisocial, still kind of am. And I didn't like talking to him. I saw him out there every once in a while with computers and stuff on. Eventually, I'd make a mental note, be like, I should probably go out there and say hi to him. I never did. Never came around to it. But
and now you're
eventually
designing a shirt for the dude.
Eventually, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But eventually, my dad was out there talking to him, and I was out mowing the lawn. And my dad's like, Jay, come on over and meet our neighbor. Jason, this is Nick. Nick, this is Jason. I'm like, oh, cool. Nice to meet you. Shook hands and everything. And I said, so I see you, with computers all the time. Do you play a lot of video games? And he's wearing a LAN shirt at the time. He just got back from a LAN. And I'm like, wait a second. He's like, yeah, dude, we just host a LAN. And it was actually, it just finished. Today was the last day. I'm like, shit, I didn't know about this. So anyways, I found out what games they played, and they played Counter-Strike. So I was like, cool. And that was right around the same time that we all got into Counter-Strike. Now, when we played Counter-Strike, we've got to understand that we were all like within the age range of probably, 16 to 18, I think, right around there. And I had just gotten out, or just hit like senior year, or just got out of high school I think it was. And I was the only one there that had a steady source of income. So basically, I was the one that hosted the Ventrilo. I was the one that paid for the servers that we used to play Callan. I was the one that always paid for anything out of pocket.
You're talking about our history.
Yes, that's in
Okay,
Counter-Strike.
for a second.
For RTF.
Right.
Yeah, for RTF.
Now
sorry.
I pay for everything.
Yes, now he pays for everything. But that's the only reason I found this out, and it's completely understandable. That's the only reason I found out that I was able to be like a quote unquote starter on the team, is because I was actually paying for everything. And
you found that out?
Yeah, and you guys would have felt bad if I didn't.
From who?
From Jason.
Oh my god, he's so full of shit. He's so full of motherfucking shit.
But
I've never that's never crossed my mind once in my life. I've never heard him say that to me. That's fucking ridiculous.
I was so terrible. That's what I thought. Because that's how bad I was, that I would understand that reasoning.
I can't believe
it's completely understandable. I don't even care.
But
honestly.
It's not true. He could say that all day, but no.
I've heard it from more people than just him.
You might have paid for a lot of the stuff, but I fucking ran that shit, right? I kept everybody together and scheduling the fucking times for the trainings and shit like that, right?
I paid for everything.
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm not discouraging that. What I'm saying is, if I had thought that you were only on the team because you were paying for things, I would have told you, and I've been like, this isn't cool, dude. You shouldn't be paying for things under these circumstances.
I wanted to sit a lot of times because I knew I was just taking us down, and especially in Cal matches and things like that, competitive stuff, right? So
I believe you said that's you. I'm so
it
mad.
It wasn't just him. I've heard it from other people.
Well, never from me.
No, it was never from you. But
exactly,
it doesn't matter if it's only
I'm a nice
you.
person.
But anyways, regardless of all that stuff,
Jesus Christ,
this is why we're friends and why we're such a close knit group, is because we can sit here and we can argue, and you might hear eventually during this podcast at some point, Mike and I might go back and things might get heated, but at the end of it, obviously we can't. But if we could, we'd be hugging it out because that's just the type of people we are.
He's a good hugger.
I know. I punched him in the head. We hug afterwards. We got some what is known as bigs, and
we called them bigs.
Yeah, and
we're badass.
At the time, they were
after the policeman left.
Yes, that happened
Jesus
too.
Jesus Christ! What a shitty night.
Hold on, we'll get to that. I'll try to brush that over really quick. But
oh my god,
big boxes at Taco Bell. I miss them. Have a bunch of shit in them that's unhealthy for you.
Well, I think they still exist. They just call them $5 boxes now. Yeah, and they're always different.
But anyways, so let's see, where was I? Counter-Strike. After Counter-Strike, I played WoW for a little bit. Didn't really get too hardcore into it like a lot of people. We didn't do any raiding or guilds or anything like that. And then after that, pretty much been bouncing from... I bounced to League for a while. I played League of Legends for quite some time. I got really heavy into it. I was really bad. But
you got up to what, silver with us?
Silver. I think I was up to silver 1 by the time I quit.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It's better than most people. I only got up to silver as well.
But I wanted to this season even. I wanted to strive to get the gold at least. But I just gave up because
you know what the problem is.
It's such a dedication you have to that game.
It's a time.
Yeah, I can't sit there and sink 45 minutes per game into every single game. Plus.
That's the only reason I stopped playing that game.
Plus, right now, I feel like everything that's going on with Dota 2, and this is the perfect time for this to be talked about, too, because Dota 2 introduces the new custom modes and the new client and all that stuff. Riot with League has had the same client, everything's been almost identical to what is in League right now as it was like 3 years ago when I started playing with the Fizz release. That's when I really started playing, was when Fizz came out. So if you go look that up, I think it's like 2012, honestly. But it's almost identical. The client's almost the same. They just changed a couple things visually. The map has been reworked for Summoner's Rift. But outside of that, it's like pretty much the same thing. They've been promising a replay system for so long. They've been promising... Tribunal came back very recently. But meanwhile, in Dota 2, when Dota 2 released, it was, number one, prettier. It had a better engine. It ran better with their client. Plus, you could spectate games from inside the game. You can listen to shoutcasters from inside the game. All this stuff is encompassed in Dota 2. And with this new, them switching it over to the Source 2 engine from Source, it's just blown League out of the water. And I'm just waiting to see how League's going to respond to this. If Riot can actually get their shit together and start coming up with more shit. Because I'm not spending any more RP or any more time in the game until I can see that they're actually trying to do something better for the game besides release new heroes. That's the only thing that they're doing right now. And it's getting a little annoying because I've spent so much money on my account. Probably close to $500. But,
yeah.
That's pretty much my gaming history. Now, as was mentioned before, he said that at the time when I joined the 105th, my name was Error. I have gone through many names in my past. Really quickly to go down the list as fast as possible.
Because it's funny.
I have a list here that I have opened. So starting when I played Unreal Tournament, I started with Richter, as in Richter Belmont from the Castlevania series. My buddy gave me that nickname, Richter, because I had no other name. I didn't know what else to call myself. So after Richter, I moved to Nail. Nail I used a lot in Rune. I actually got into a really high class, I guess you could call it, guild. It was really, really well respected between everybody. It was actually a clan, guild clan, whatever. And I actually moved from being just a normal recruit to actually becoming friends with the leader of the clan. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook still, and I moved all the way up to a council member, which is like the second highest ranking that you can get in that. And then from Nail, I moved to Error when I moved to Medal of Honor. And then when we switched over to Counter-Strike, what we did was we didn't want to carry over the same names into Counter-Strike. We wanted to switch our names, so if anybody could see, because since the game was launched through Steam, people would see your nickname on Steam.
And when we left, there was a bunch of drama because we were good friends with those Medal of Honor guys still. And when we left, there was all this drama and people. I remember that some people came over and were messaging us on the Steam, and it was just a little bit awkward.
Yeah, they wanted to know what we're doing. Why are we playing Counter-Strike? Why do we switch games?
Are you leaving us? Are you leaving us? And it was like, well, if you keep talking like this, fuck yeah, we are. But,
yeah, and at the time, I don't think that Steam had the capability where you could check your previous aliases.
Right.
So I think what we did was we switched our names over at that point because all of us switched our names over to just a temporary name. And I can't remember what you used, but
I don't remember, because I want to say I used Peter for a while, but
I don't think you cared.
I don't think I cared. I still talked to. I don't know. Fuck if I don't know.
But
Anyway,
anyways, I moved from Error when I was with Medal of Honor to Idiot Box. I was actually listening a lot to a band called Aquabats, and this is you'll notice a trend.
It was a pool party, cool pool party.
Yeah, but can you sing Idiot Box?
I don't know that song. I just know
Exactly.
pool party.
Poo Party. Anyways, if you notice a trend, after what is it? No, not Error. Idiot Box is actually a trend of my names spanning from music songs, sound noises.
Noises come out my mouth.
So, anyways, Idiot Box was the song that I chose, and I just thought it was pretty cool. So I used it, and after I used it, I was like, neat, Idiot Box. And then I was like, all right, this is really fucking difficult because people keep calling me idiot. People keep calling me Idiot Box. They couldn't decide what to call me. So I was like, all right, fuck. Well, let's see. What can I do? All right, well, I'll just abbreviate it, right? I'll just abbreviate it. I'll put Box. I'm just Box. Well, apparently, there's a really good StarCraft player named Boxer. I got confused with Boxer a lot, apparently. They're like, are you Boxer from StarCraft 2?
What moron? But you're not even playing StarCraft
We played
2.
Counter-Strike, dude. There's a bunch of morons in Counter-Strike.
Jesus Christ.
So anyways, and then I got confused because apparently after that point, there was a dude that was actually pretty good also in Counter-Strike by the name of Box. I was like, I can't win. I can't fucking win. So after that, I switched over. I played Left 4 Dead for quite some time too, and Team Fortress 2. Those were also some games that I played. But when I switched over to Left 4 Dead, I joined a forum called Left 4 Dead 411, Left 4 Dead 411.com, and became really close friends with some people on there that I'm still friends with and talk to this day. Who one is probably trying to message me on Steam because I have set the offline mode right now. But I went by Nerve on their website, and that was one that I used for quite some time. And if you see my Twitter handles, we got our Twitter handles on the stream. Mine's at It's Nerves with 2 Z's.
And mine's real original.
Yeah, his is his name.
My name. I don't ever really post on Twitter.
We'll go ahead. We'll put the Twitter stuff and the website and all the other shit that's in the overlay in the podcast description. But and then I still use that to this day. And then Glamorous is the other one that I use.
Glamorous.
Which is a Fergie song. Nerve is actually a Soilwork song, which I really loved listening to Soilwork a lot when I played Medal of Honor.
I'm surprised that you never went by apple bottom jeans or boots with the
Bottom
fur.
jeans. I think I did. I did go by boots with the fur. I think we went.
Oh,
we
man.
also. Oh, holy shit! I know what names we used when we switched over to Counter-Strike.
What?
The shootiest, the fruitiest, and the tootiest.
And the tootiest, because it was the soundtrack.
Yes.
For what, Fallout or something?
It was
It was the
Fallout.
Fallout soundtrack. Yeah, because we, yeah, that was funny.
Oh my god!
Shootiest, fruitiest, and tootiest.
I can't believe I remembered that.
Who was the tootiest? Did you get stuck with that?
I think I got stuck with. No,
No,
I
you
was
were fruitiest.
fruitiest. I was fruitiest. You were shootiest.
I was shootiest.
I think Jason was tootiest. But
So how many names is this? Let's run down the list. How many names did you have?
I only have. Well, if we count Idiot Box and Box as one,
Okay.
Then that's just one. So
So that's two. That's two for sure.
Okay,
I'm counting
if
as two.
that's two, then I got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4...
That's two different eras
five,
of
six.
you.
I have 7 total names that I have written down. Now, when I played
There's-
WoW, I had different names that I used.
Well, yeah.
Also, I would switch for the Darkland, for the land that he has his shirt on
you
for.
were Glitch.
I had Dark Glitch, because everybody had
Yep.
Dark in front of their name to be edgy. So
Yeah,
I
so
had
edgy.
my name was Dark Glitch. So,
that's
was
what 8.
That was
And
the
then
one.
also we were thinking. I want to remember at one point that we were going to do a Medal of Honor clan together, and you decided that it would be cool to name yourself Stillborn. That was for about a day. I'm going to count that one. So that's
Stillborn.
9.
Stillborn
Yeah.
was one. Yeah. I like these edgy names. If you can't tell.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, you're a cunning linguistist.
What?
Linguist.
Linguist. There you go. There was well, on Steam I have currently is Dankest Krang is my Steam name right now.
So lots of names, and I've gone by 2.
I'm probably over 10, I want to say, but
It's like 1 per year.
that's pretty much my name history. That's why you might hear Mike actually call me something else.
Sometimes I slip up and I don't call him by Jason all the time, or if we got the other Jason,
You'll call me Box.
Because I'll say Jason, and then they're both like, huh? And I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to call you Box, or I'm going to call you Idiot, or I'm going to call you whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so you might hear me slip up, but if the one I almost always slip up if I call him anything is Box. But I am usually pretty good at just calling him by Jason. But like I said, when there's other people, and we're probably going to have other people around here eventually.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Huh?
Anyway. So yeah, but that's it. When I was in high school, I don't know about you, but I did a lot of like role playing stuff.
What, like games? Or like as a female?
Like typing games.
Oh,
like
yeah, like Mavis Beacon.
I don't know.
Role playing as a student, learning how to type.
What?
Did you ever do Mavis Beacon teaches typing?
Fucking, I have no idea what you're talking about. So no.
You missed out.
Must be a West Coast thing. I have no fucking clue. No, but like, old Yahoo chat rooms and stuff with the
Yahoo.
with the typing, and there's different types of combat and stuff with role playing. You could T1, which is like real fast, bam, 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 bam. First to what is it? How did T1 work? I think T1 actually you had to type out the whole thing of your whole action and give somebody else the time to type back what they're saying. Whereas T2, now when I was smaller, a kid-ish, like 15-ish probably, there was also a system called T2, which was the person that could type the fastest and hit enter the fastest and get their line entered before the other person took their action first. And then you'd have to respond. So if I was going to attack you, I'll say, so-and-so swings my axe down in a downward motion at your face, and hit enter, and then immediately start typing again. If I hit enter and I connect my attack before you get a chance to say raise your sword up to block it,
Whoa.
my attack will go through, and I'll hit you. And then I could say in that same line, if I get it out before you type your defense, I could say, and slashes your face and your cheek comes off or some bullshit. I could say something cool like that. And as long as I typed it out before you did, I'd win. Well, since I was a fast typer, that's the system that I used. I would always tell people, I roleplay T2. And they're always like, okay, fine. So I'd always be first, and I'd always win, and I'd always kill their character before they got a chance to do anything to me. So I'd always walk around nice and bad. I was a
Mr.
fucking
Badass.
I was a nerd.
It's all about these, baby.
But
all right, well, we should probably wrap up.
No,
our
I'm not
history
done
pretty
yet.
soon.
Hold on.
Go ahead and finish out your thoughts, because
Really
we still
quickly.
have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Really quickly, with the role-playing thing, I was a member of Gaia Online website. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But with Gaia, essentially, I started the guild on there. And to abbreviate, to long story short it as much as possible, ended up meeting my wife on there.
Oh.
Yeah, it was funny because I was installing Call of Duty at the same time that I was typing to her to ask her out. And as I was typing to her, I was like, so, you want to go out? And meanwhile, she's over in a different
Raise his
state.
sword up and slash his face off. Oh, sorry, wrong. MT.
But I'm installing Call of Duty, right? The Call of Duty just finishes, and I'm in the middle of typing, and I'm like, oh, I want to play this game so bad. Will you go out with me? Enter Call of Duty. And I didn't even wait for a response, and meanwhile, she's typing to me, so I alt-tab back out of the game, and she said yes, and I'm like, cool, okay, gotta go, talk to you later, bye. And I just hung up. I'm like...
And that sums up their current relationship as well.
Yeah, that's why she sits out on the couch right now, watches TV, while I'm in here fucking making this podcast.
Hey, as long as she makes you fish.
Well... She makes more than just fish, if you know what I mean.
God, you know, she makes him pay the bills.
No, actually, her computer's right there, and she's got pretty much the same damn setup that I do, and she's actually looking forward to playing Heaven's Ward, the Final Fantasy expansion.
Oh my God, I can't wait till our first week episode because I got a lot of stuff to talk about for Final Fantasy because.
We have all the E3 coverage.
I can't go into. I'll go into it next week because I can't even handle it. But anyway, does that wrap up all your history?
Yeah, next week we're gonna be talking about a lot of E3 stuff. A lot of stuff happened at E3 that we do want to cover.
Yep.
I'm afraid I don't think we'll be able to fit all of it in one podcast.
We'll do what we can, or do a 4-hour podcast because who gives a fuck?
Yeah, except
we're not gonna do that.
Except for a lot of people that watch this.
We're not going to do that.
Or listen to this. We're actually okay. So if you're getting to this point in the podcast, and you haven't realized it yet, we're actually doing two different things, right? We're actually recording just audio only, which you may be listening to just on your iPod or whatever, and we're also doing a video podcast that will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. Unfortunately, we cannot give you a YouTube channel name because we have to have 500 subs before we actually get that name reserved. So when
some crazy thing like that, I'll buy some
500.
Some people from India to sub to us.
It's 500. I already looked it up.
Crazy.
So it's 500 subs plus we had to have an account for 30 days, which I don't think we just barely might have that covered right now.
We do still have a YouTube link. It's just not pretty.
So all you have to do is go to trainednoobs.com. All of our links are down there at the bottom of the page. Just go down there, click on any one of those things down. What are you signaling down? What are you even doing?
Just in case.
Well, people in audio can't see fingers.
But what if they proceed?
So anyways, go to the website, go all the way to the bottom of the page. At the bottom of the page, you'll find our email link. If you want to email us and you got comments or something, suggestions, anything you want to bring up to us, we have our SoundCloud link is down there, which where all of our audio podcasts will be uploaded. Our Twitter account's down there, so you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter, our joint Twitter account. Like I said, the actual Twitter names for myself is at ITZNERVEZ, at It's Nerves, and his is
MCMURRAY_M. What it is McMurray_M. You can follow me there. I post once every 6 months, but usually when I do, it is wonderful.
Well,
they're wonderful.
If you mention us at anything, I'm sure we'll get them and check them out and be able to respond to you that way.
All about the interaction.
Also, we have our Facebook link down there. YouTube link is down at the bottom, like I said before, and our Twitch if we ever just do decide to start live streaming these, podcasts. It'll all be down at the bottom of the page. So you can check all that stuff out on our website. We'll try to have these episodes uploaded, what would you say, within a day after us recording them. I would say expect them every Sunday.
While you're on that topic, we will hit real quick just how we're gonna do the podcast before we end up wrapping up with all those things. I'm assuming that's what you were trying to do.
Wrapping up? I am wrapping up.
Okay,
well
let's
all the links.
Let's backtrack just a little bit here.
What the fuck is that?
There's a backtrack. It's when the treadmill gets stuck and it's like,
That wasn't the noise you just made, though. You said, and which is like a fucking penguin.
It's one of those special noises you can never duplicate again. Just
rewind.
Be happy it exists.
Rewind
in the first
podcast
place.
and listen to it.
All right, so we haven't even established really what the fuck our podcast is about yet. So if you've made it this far, congratulations. We as you can tell by our history, we're very into gaming and mostly PC gaming. So this is what we're going to focus on. We're going to be doing lots of PC gaming. We really enjoy esports, but don't expect to be fully up to date on all the esports goings on with us, because unfortunately we play lots of different games. Like me, for instance, I'm heavily into Hearthstone. There's lots of tournaments with Hearthstone. I'm heavily into Counter-Strike. There's lots of tournaments with Counter-Strike. We cannot keep up to date with all the PC gaming news and the esports news. So really what we're going to do is all the big news that's out there, we're going to be talking about, and we're going to be discussing, and we're going to be bringing up all the fun, big stuff to you guys. And also, don't feel like you can't give us input. We've got Reddit at r/Trained Noobs. Everything is pretty much Trained Noobs. We've got all of our stuff, our email you can contact us at. But basically, PC gaming, a light note on esports, and just our perfectly awesome and wonderful personalities to go along with that. As far as our podcasts go, we're going to be doing a once weekly. As far as the time goes, probably just your standard. It's going to fluctuate.
I think Sunday, you're probably going to expect to get episodes uploaded Sunday.
Expect your episode on Sunday, because I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to be recording Friday or Saturday. At some point, we're going to start live streaming them. We've got our Twitch already established. We'll start using that soon. So, we'll send out tweets when we're live streaming it, and then we'll send out tweets when the uploads are through, all those things.
We're not quite sure exactly how the iTunes stuff is going to work, because this is actually our first time doing a podcast. So,
booyah!
Bear with us as we work out a lot of the kinks. The format of the show might change as things go on. Interfaces might change as far as recordings go. Stuff like that might get switched around a little bit.
And I know he sounds nervous, but don't worry, I got the iTunes thing fucking figured out. We're good to go.
Nervous?
Calm down. I hear the frog in your throat. You're backtracking again. That whole treadmill talk. You just don't worry about it, okay? I got this shit. I got you taken care of today, buddy.
I can't stand you sometimes. I just want to punch you square in the head.
Right in the top of the noggin, too. It's probably not the best place to put.
Where I make my knuckles split open and start bleeding.
There's blood on my head. Oh, it's definitely not me. It's him, because he punched me right in the top of the head, you dumb fuck. Anyway.
Well, you got me in a headlock. I didn't know what to do. Anyways. So, but yeah, so, like I said, go check out trainednoobs.com. All of our stuff is up there. Our Reddit, r/Trained Noobs. If you want to start a discussion or anything, you can expect to get the podcast uploaded on Sunday. Just a quick recap. Definitely be uploaded on Sunday as far as SoundCloud goes. YouTube, probably pretty similar to SoundCloud. And then I don't know if there's an approval process for iTunes, is what I was saying. So if we submit on Sunday...
You have redeemed yourself.
I don't know if we... Well, you didn't let me fucking finish before. So I don't know if we submit
on
Sunday...
Bad part of my personality.
If we submit on Sunday, if it takes a couple days for them to approve it or whatever, because we'll probably be recording these. God, I fucking stumbled over my words so badly. We'll probably be recording these episodes on a Friday, like today, or maybe a Saturday, depending on when our schedules are free. We both have families. Mike is actually a lot more busy than I am, but like I said, any suggestions, comments, anything like that, like, comment, subscribe on the YouTubes. And the follows on the Twitters and the likes, and the Facebooks and Instagram. Actually, we don't have an Instagram.
Back to 2007.
We don't have an Instagram. We probably will never have an Instagram.
No, fuck Instagram, man. Kim Kardashian can have that. I don't give a fuck.
Is she the most popular person on Instagram?
I don't know. I just hate that bitch.
I think a lot of people do. But
okay,
you can't deny that ass.
Basically, the best you can deny its reality. That's for sure.
Well, it has its own fucking gravitational pull. That's for sure.
Oh my god. TrainedNoobs.com. It's just the place to go for everything. And we're going to be putting up our week 1 episode soon. We're going to be recording it tomorrow morning.
Yep.
So both these episodes will be coming out. You guys should have the episode 0 available to you, and you'll also have the episode 1 as well.
Yep.
And then we're looking forward to hearing some feedback and let us know what you guys want us to talk about if something interests you guys, and we'll look into it and go that route as well.
Definitely the best way to get a hold of us is by emailing us, which is on the website, because we both have access to that. I think it's on my phone for sure. I don't know if it's on yours. And
in case you're listening and you're not going to the website anytime soon, it's trainednoobs@gmail.com. Yes. You probably already said that. I'm going to restate.
No, actually, I did not. I did not say the actual email, but. That will do it for us, guys. Again, my name is Jason.
My name is Michael.
And we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Later, noobs.